The S&P 500 just printed a change of character on the daily, and 3 time frames are now stacked bearish. But the real short entry hasn't arrived yet. There's a high confluence bearish OB sitting above current price at 7490 to 7510, and that's the zone that could define the next 200-plus point move. Stay with me.
Welcome back. Today, we're breaking down the S&P 500. And this is a session where the chart is doing the talking. The daily, 4H, and 1H are all aligned bearish right now. The weekly wasn't available for this session, so I'll flag where that limits our confidence. But the 3 time frames we have are telling a very consistent story. This setup is building toward a high-quality short opportunity, but it is not ready yet, and that distinction matters. Let me show you exactly why. On the daily, we had a clean BOS to the upside that drove price all the way into the 7600 to 7650 area. That was the bullish run. But then price reversed and printed a textbook change of character, visible right here on the chart labeled CHoCH, near the 7380 to 7400 zone. That change of character flipped the daily structure from bullish to bearish. We are now printing lower highs. On the 4H, the change of character confirmation sits at approximately 7460 to 7470, followed by a series of lower highs and lower lows. Structure is broken. Both timeframes agree this market has turned. The primary draw on liquidity for this bearish move is the daily FVG sitting down at 7225 to 7265. That's your SSL magnet and the destination if bears stay in control. Above current price, BSL pools sit at the 4H distribution highs around 7490 to 7560, and the major swing high at 7640 to 7660. The 4H already printed an inducement bounce from the 7440 area, a minor rally that likely trapped late longs before continuation lower. On the daily, the FVG resistance zone at 7600 to 7640 is the macro ceiling. That's premium territory and deep into supply. But the actionable zone for this session is the 4H bearish OB and stacked FVG cluster sitting between 7490 and 7560. 4 FVG stacked in that window, with the order block sitting at the base around 7490 to 7510. Confluence rating high. The lower portion has been partially touched. The upper portion from 7530 to 7560 is still fresh and untested. The entry model is pending. Current price at 7441 is sitting below the entry zone. We need price to rally back up into the 7490 to 7510 FVG base. Once inside that zone, the trigger I'm waiting for is a bearish displacement candle, or a bearish engulfing on the 1H, confirming rejection and continuation lower. Without that confirmation from the zone, this is not a trade.
Here's the plan if the trigger fires. Direction? Short. Entry zone? 7,490 to 7,510 on a 1H bearish rejection from the OB. Stop loss? Above the FVG cluster top at 7,565. That's roughly 60 to 65 points of risk. TP1 targets the near-term SSL at 7,420 to 7,425, just over 1-to-1. TP2 targets the daily FVG support at 7,265. That's a 3.6-to-1 reward on the full move. Scale out half at TP1 and let a runner work toward the daily target. HTF bias is amber. The daily, 4H, and 1H are all bearish, but the weekly was not available, so we can't give this a full green. Liquidity is green. The pools are clearly mapped, inducement has printed, and we know exactly where price is being drawn. Zone is green. That 4H OB and stacked FVG at 7490 to 7560 is a high confluence zone. OTE is red. Price is currently below the entry zone. PA confirmation is red. No trigger candle has printed from the zone yet. 2 greens out of 5. The setup is visible, but it is not executable right now. The zone is not ready. Protect your capital and wait for full alignment. That's the reminder for this session. We have a beautiful bearish setup building. The structure shift is real, the zones are mapped, the liquidity draw is clear. But chasing price right now at 7,441 without confirmation from the OB zone is exactly the kind of low-quality entry that erodes accounts over time. The edge is in the waiting. Set your alerts at 7,490 and let price come to you. That's the full breakdown for S&P 500. Drop your own bias in the comments. Are you waiting for the same short setup, or do you see this differently? If this analysis gave you clarity, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Until then, stay sharp, stay patient, and stay in the zone.